The topic of this video is corrections, and more specifically, the Manage and General Filters tabs. On this tab, on the Manage tab, you can create different groups of settings. My suggestion would be that you would go through all the different tabs and set them the way you would like them, and then come back here and give it a name. And then select Save New. At that point, you can see that it's also in your drop-down. It's been added to the drop-down list. You can select a group of settings to delete. You would simply select it from the drop-down list and hit Delete. At that point, it has been removed from your list. If you were to desire to have a different group, you would need to select that group and then load it, and then that group of settings is loaded. Down here in the naming for corrected material, you can either add a prefix or a suffix to the piece mark of the corrected files. If you were to add -C, let's say, that way we know that it's been corrected, to the suffix of the part, this will also be added to the piece mark when it's added in Scribe Filters. So if you're using Scribe Filters to add the piece mark to the part, this -C would also be added to it. If that's something that you don't want, I would recommend using something like the plus symbol, because the plus symbol is not part of the character set. The only thing that will be scribed would be things that are in the character set, which would be 0 to 9 and A through Z, and the dash or the hyphen. So something like the plus symbol would not be, but it would still be shown in your pending part list, and you would know which ones have been corrected and which ones haven't. It will, however, when it scribes the piece mark on the part, it will, however, leave a blank space where this plus symbol is, whether that's in the prefix or whether it's in the suffix. Either way, it will be adding a space where that character is. On the General Filters tabs, you can choose to correct or not correct any of the profiles, whether it be angles, beams, channels, plates, tubes, or T-shapes. On those profiles, you can choose to correct certain features or not correct certain features, just simply by unchecking the box. With angle, we have an additional selection here of make web be longer leg on angles. With angle, we see two surfaces. We have a web and a top flange. If the angle happens to be an odd leg angle, we prefer that long leg to be the horizontal leg or the web, and the vertical leg to be the top flange. So this is just forcing that to be so. If you need to remove any of these features from the underside of the part for any reason, you can do that simply by checking these boxes. On the Beams tab, we don't have any additional choices. Channels, that's exactly the same. Plates, we have optimized plate size, which means that if your shaped plate comes in askew and has a lot of scrap or remnant around it, Raptor will automatically square that up and use as little or leave as little scrap or remnant as possible. Then we have the Tubes tab. On the Tubes tab, we also have Rotate Tubes. What this will do is it will rotate the tube 90 degrees. So if you had slots that were in your web and underside and you wanted them to be in your top and bottom flange instead, you could simply select this and it would rotate the tube automatically for you. And then the last tab we have is the T-shapes tab. The additional selection we have here is to convert T-shapes to beams. On the Peddinghaus machines, we are unable to run any T-shapes as T's, so this will allow us to convert those to a beam where it can be ran through our multi-spindle drills and copers and the like. Here at the bottom of these tabs, and in all of the windows and all of the tabs, we have two different additional choices. We have remove source shape from pending parts and delete source shape from database. The remove source shape from pending parts means that once you correct the part, the only thing you would have left in your pending parts list would be the corrected file. So if I selected this, my original would be removed, my corrected file would be left. If I choose to delete the source shape from the database, it will not only remove it from the pending parts window, it will also remove it from my local database at my PC or machine control, whichever I happen to be at that moment. I think initially you will probably leave these unselected until you have your corrections set the way you want them. And then once you have them all set up the way you like, you will more than likely delete from the database and remove it from the pending part window so that the only thing you have left is the corrected file. That's all for this video. Please watch the next one where we will be talking about copes, cope filters, and the Advanced tab. Thank you.